Channel Sports Central will be going over my game predictions for Week 2 of the 2020 NFL season. And of course, we saw Week 1 getting kicked off last week. Lots of great games happened last week. We saw the Saints, of course, beating off the Buccaneers. And we also saw the Rams over the Cowboys. Lots of great games all around. But today we're going to be going over Week number 2. And we're going to be going over every game that's going to be coming up this week, along with my game prediction for each one. So that being said, let's get things started. This is going to be the first half of your Week number 2 games. Of course, on Thursday, we saw the Bengals and the Browns. And of course, that was a couple of days ago, and I did not get this video out before Thursday. And I can give you guys an honest answer. I would have said the Browns would have won that game. Of course, they were favored by 3, and I expected it in a close win, which the Browns ended up winning. It was still a close win for sure, but I mean, the Bengals definitely had a good leg there. I mean, they were pretty close to beating the Browns there for a good chunk of the time there, but the Browns got the win in the end, and I would have said the Browns anyway. But as far as the Falcons and the Cowboys go, I would have said I'm going to say the Cowboys there. I think the Cowboys being at home, that's going to help them a lot, and the Falcons last week in general just did not have a good game, so I'm going to go with the Cowboys there at home. I've also got the Packers over the Lions, and I kind of went back and forth on that one too. I mean, the Lions, of course, they had a big lead over the Bears last week, and they easily should have won that game, which they completely blew it in the end. But the Packers, I think, with them being favored by 6 and also being at home in Lambeau, that's going to help them a ton. I think the Packers do get a win in the end. I mean, they looked really good against the Vikings last week, so I think that's something you got to watch out for moving forward. So I've got the Packers over the Lions there in an easy win, so that means it's going to be a win by 10 to 23 points or so. So kind of a moderate win there for the Packers. I've also got the Vikings over the Colts, and that's the first game where I'm expecting an upset. I think the Vikings go into Indianapolis and have a big game. Of course, the Colts last week lost to the Jaguars, which is a pretty terrible loss. And Phil Rivers just did not look good in general. So I've got the Vikings over the Colts in that game. Colts are currently favored by 3. However, I've got the Vikings there in that one. I've also got the Bills over the Dolphins. Bills are favored by 5.5 over the Dolphins, but the Bills will get the win there in the end in a close one. And the 49ers are also going to get their first win of the season against the Jets on the road. And I've got it being a close game. I think the 49ers and the Jets kind of go back and forth throughout that game, but the 49ers in the end are definitely the better team. And of course, they just had a rough start in week number 1. I mean, they lost to the Cardinals. That was just a bad loss in general. So I think the 49ers, they've got a lot more potential than that, and they come in and get a win in week number 2. I also have the Rams over the Eagles. That's going to be another game where I've got a winner against the spread. I think the Eagles, of course, they're favored by 1.5 right now. I've got the Rams, though. I think the Rams go on the road and have a big win in Philadelphia. Rams are going to go to 2-0. Then we also have the Broncos and the Steelers, another big game there. Steelers are going to get the win in the end. They're favored by 7. And also with the Steelers being at home, that's another main reason why I've got the Steelers in that one. Some notable games of week number 1 or week 2 is we got the Lions and the Packers, Minnesota and the Colts, and then the Rams and the Eagles as well. As far as the second half of your games go, of course, we got the Panthers and the Buccaneers. Buccaneers are currently favored by 8.5. I've got the Bucs winning that one too. They're going to get their first win with Tom Brady at quarterback. And of course, they had to play the Saints last week, which was all around just a tough game. I mean, the Saints are a great team, so that was a very brutal game to start off the season. But the Buccaneers, I've got them big against the Panthers. I think they get an easy win there. I've also got the Titans over the Jaguars. Titans are currently ahead by 7.5 there as far as the spread goes. I think the Titans get an easy win over the Jaguars. I think the Jags are, they were a decent team last week. They got a big win over the Colts, but I don't think that continues. I think that the Titans get their first win or get their second win over the Jaguars here this week. I don't think that the Jaguars will even have a chance, really. But I also have the Bears over the Giants. Bears are favored by 5.5. I've got the Bears winning at home, but in a close one. I've got the Cardinals pretty easily against the Washington football team. Of course, they're favored by 7 right now as far as the spread goes. But yeah, I do have the Cardinals there at home against Washington. And of course, Washington surprised a lot of people last week, including me. I mean, they beat off the Eagles of all teams, so who knows? Maybe they could go into Arizona and get a big win. But the Cardinals looked great last week against the 49ers. I think they could be a very good team this season. So watch out for the Cardinals. I've got them big in that one. I also have the Ravens big over the Texans, and I went back and forth on that one too. I mean, the Texans easily with Deshaun Watson, they could be a very good team this season, but they just did not look very good against the Kansas City Chiefs in week 1. So I got the Ravens getting a win over the Texans there on the road. I've also got the Chiefs and the Chargers. I've got the Chiefs getting a win in Los Angeles. And, of course, we don't really do blowouts very much, but I've got the Chiefs actually in a blowout there. I think the Chiefs absolutely blow out the Chargers in that one. I'm gonna take the Chiefs pretty easily. I think that they end up winning that game by at least 24. I mean, it's going to be a road game, so that could be a bit of a tougher game for the Chiefs. But I think they're just, I mean, with Pat Mahomes, they are an extremely strong team right now. And considering the way they beat up the Texans in week number 1, they're just looking very good right now. So I've got the Chiefs over the Jaguars. And then lastly, for your Sunday night football game, we got the Patriots and the Seahawks. Great game tomorrow night. Really looking forward to watching that one. I definitely say that's your game of the day. And, I mean, both teams, I mean, they've had a lot of interesting history together between Super Bowls and all around just great matchups. I've got the Seahawks in the end, though. I think with the Seahawks being in Seattle for 1, and for 2 with Russell Wilson, that team looking very strong right now. They had a big win against the Falcons last week. Yeah, I've got the Seahawks winning over the Patriots in that one on Sunday Night Football. I think the Patriots will give them a good fight. I think Cam Newton, expect a big game out of him. But the Seahawks and their defense and their offense in general are just looking very good. So I've got the Seahawks over the Patriots on Sunday Night Football. But it will be a close game. It definitely will be a very close game there. And it's going to be a good one, too. Probably the best game of the week. But as far as your Monday night game goes, we got the Saints and the Raiders as well. I've got the Saints winning that one. The Saints, of course, are favored by 5.5 over the Raiders, and it's the first game in the Raiders' new stadium. However, I just don't think that the Raiders can keep up with the Saints. I think the Saints are a great team. They get a big win on the road in the new Raiders Stadium. And it's actually the first football game in Las Vegas as well. Something interesting to note there for the Raiders. But once again, Saints are just too strong. They get the win over Las Vegas in the end, and it's going to be pretty easily too. I think it's between 10 and 23 points between the margin that the Saints will win by. Last year, your notable games of week number 2, we got the Lions and the Packers. We got Vikings and Colts, Rams and Eagles, followed by the Ravens and the Texans. And then, of course, we got the Patriots and the Seahawks. Probably your game of the week coming up here in week number 2. So, yeah, with that being said, that wraps up my week 2 game predictions for the 2020 NFL season. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below on these. If you disagree with anything here, I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comments below. But yeah, it's going to be a fun week coming up. Really looking forward to getting things started. Of course, we got, once again, that Patriots and Seahawks game is going to be probably the funnest one of the week. Really looking forward to that. But yeah, once again, thanks again for watching. Stay tuned for more from All Sports Central. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And slap a like on this preview once again if you enjoy that. Really helps out the channel. I really appreciate that. But as always, thanks again for watching. Stay tuned for more. I'll see you later.